Hello and welcome everyone to my first video on Asia Engulfed, a game I've actually owned for a long time, but hardly ever got around to playing it. I did dabble with it a little bit once. I remember playing out a few attacks with a gaming buddy of mine, but we never actually managed to finish a game, or at least I didn't. I know that he did though, but anyway, I didn't, and I recently came across it again, lying on the shelf, and I thought, hey, maybe I should give this game another chance. I remember that it was quite complicated to my personal tastes and abilities, perhaps. But I gave it another try, and so I'm learning the game now. And what I'm planning on doing is to go over the extended sequence of play, which is one of the player aids that actually comes with the game. I may not do every little single thing that's there, but I will go over the most important things in there. The reason I usually do that is because it helps me to learn the game, and also once I haven't played the game in a long time, to actually get reacquainted with the rules more quickly. And I hope it also turns out to be useful for other players or potential players. So what I'm going to show you in this first video is naval movement and also reaction movement, because that is basically one and the same thing. So I'm going to start off with these Japanese units. The black Japanese units are fleet units. That brownish one is a Japanese marine unit, and the orange blocks are Japanese infantry. You still have land-based air as well, and there's still carrier-based air, but we'll find out more about those later. Naval movement. Well, what these fleets can move up to 3 sea zones usually. So let's just say I want to move this aircraft carrier 1, 2. I could move it in here as well, but I want to move it in here. This marker means that the sea zone is under dominant Japanese influence. Why is that? Actually, these units, by the way, are all import at the beginning of the scenario. So in this case, in Palau, but I put them next to it so you could actually see the port. But remember that they're in there, and moving out of the port is one move already. Now, again, this marker means that the sea is under dominant Japanese influence in this particular case, because the Japanese are the only ones with either a fleet, which is one of those black blocks that I've been talking to you about, or a land-based air unit, such as this one, adjacent to that sea zone, and the Allies do not have either of those at the moment. Now, note that that can change by moving units around, but so far at this moment, the Japanese are the only ones influencing this sea zone, so they have dominant influence. Now, in this sea zone, they have limited influence, even without the CV. CV means aircraft carrier. Why is that? Because the land-based air here in this port exerts influence, but so does the cruiser based in Darwin. Because Darwin, I hope you can see that, the port actually connects to 2 sea zones, so it exerts influence into both of those sea zones as well. This sea zone is only influenced by that same cruiser unit in Darwin. So that one is Allied control. Well, it's not controlled, sea zones are not controlled, but the Allies have dominant influence there. They only come in the form of an American flag, but that they also represent Commonwealth influence or whatever. Now, another example, here you have New South Wales. This is the port of Sydney, I suppose. Sydney does not adjoin the Coral Sea, even though the land area does, but the port doesn't. So you couldn't move directly from Sydney into the Coral Sea. You would first have to go through the Tasman Sea. Another very important thing is that for each Japanese sea unit, you actually move, and potentially for Marines as well, but That's a bit of an exceptional case because you can either choose to use transport points or oil points. Anyway, that's the thing I wanted to tell you, that only goes for the Marines ships. So the black blocks have to use oil points. So the Japanese, even though they're stronger at the beginning of the game, this is a scenario, by the way, it's called tipping the balance, and it starts in July, August 1942, so right after the Battle of Midway. And the Japanese have to be somewhat careful with their oil supplies because, unlike the Allies, they're not virtually unlimited. So if you go to the general information track, one of the things you can see there is oil points. And for each fleet, so in this case, each block that you move, you expend one oil point, and you resolve that after you've completed the moves into each and every sea zone. Now, I've moved the aircraft carrier into the Banda Sea. I actually want to move another one, so that would cost me 2 oil points. So it would move. It starts at 14 in this scenario, so it's moved down to 12 in this particular case because I've just moved. Well, let's pick the cruiser fleet here. So because I've just moved to black blocks over there. Now, if I wanted to move on to this sea zone, again, because I have a move of 3, that would be possible, but it probably wouldn't be very handy because for reaction moves, so you resolve each sea zone at a time. You pick a destination sea zone as the phasing player, which in this case is the Japanese. They've just moved into the Banda Sea. And let's say the Japanese player says, okay, I'm done moving. I don't want to move any more of my naval units into, or also infantry units that would be troop transports for amphibious invasions. But okay, the Japanese player says, I'm done moving units into that sea zone. Then the Allies have a chance to react. Now, for this unit, they could actually react. So you know, for the sake of the example, let's just do that. And they move in here. Now, if this unit could join as well. No, it couldn't join, sorry, because for reaction moves, you can only move 2 and not 3. There is a special action available to the Americans that they can, which is kind of like a surprise move. I forgot the actual name, but it basically models the Battle of Midway. It allows you to replicate that up to a certain extent. So this unit would have to move 1, 2, 3, and it can't, because for a reaction move, unlike normal moves, you can't move 3 sea zones. You can only move 2. So this one couldn't reach. So the one in Darwin now did do that. Is that a very good decision? Probably not, because it's severely outgunned. But anyway, they could do that. So reconsidering if I were actually playing now, I probably wouldn't do that, because if I lose my unit here, I might actually lose the influence over that sea zone as well, and over that one. So it's probably better just to stay put. Now, if they wanted to go here, they actually can't, because they have to stop in a sea zone that's, so let's just say that I wanted to move this one here. I can't. So 1 from Palau, 1, 2, 3. I actually can't do that because I would be moving through a sea zone with limited influence, which is not allowed. I have to stop in such a sea zone. Could I go around? 1, 2, 3. No, I cannot get any further than that. So I cannot reach this sea zone at the time. Yeah, that's those are, I suppose, the basics of naval movement. Thank you for watching.